Hello everybody, this is Larry Earnhardt, your Alchemist Professor, and what I'm talking to you today about is a continuation of my series, How to Eat an Elephant, part 1 of the 5-part formula for success, and today what we're talking about is the art of the referral. In previous sessions, what we've discussed was, why do you want to own a business? The main reason is profit. I mean, there are many other reasons, but profit has to be a motive. And in order to generate profit, there are a number of things we need to do. So first of all, look at what your goals are. What kind of business do you want? Do you want a $50,000 a year company, $500,000 a year company, a $5 million a year company? What size business do you want? The size of the business you have or you want to have will dictate how you go about providing that end result. So what I like to talk to folks about is first look at your end result you desire. What are your business goals? How do your business goals align with your personal goals? And then we start crafting a pathway to get you where you want to go from where you already are. So first of all, what is profit? Profit, as we discussed before, profit is revenues minus expenses. You may have materials costs, you may have office supply costs, sales and marketing costs, personnel costs if you have employees, and of course if you have profits then you have to pay taxes. So profits is left in your cookie jar after all the expenses are taken away. Now I look at success as putting more cookies into that cookie jar after taking out all those expenses. And so let's look at what makes up profit, because what I do here, what I like to do is to take profit and break it down into the component parts. And then we look at each one of those component parts one by one. So first of all, profit equals revenues times the profit margin. So profit is the amount of money coming in, and you can calculate it by multiplying by the ratio of profits divided by revenues. And that's a ratio that's calculated based on your results every month or every year. So let's look at revenues. We're going to take profit margin away, and we're going to look at revenues, and we're going to break that down. So first of all, revenues breaks down into the number of customers you have times the amount of money those customers bring in on average over a period of time. So if in my handyman business, my average sale per customer, the customer value, was $500. So if I had 1,000 customers averaging $500 a sale, I would end up with $500,000 in revenues over the year. Very simple calculation. But you can't really influence these directly. These are things that have already happened. You already have customers. You already have the amount of money that they spent. But what we want to do is look at the things that will influence the result of increasing the number of customers and increasing that value. So the 5 parts of profit, you can break these down. Number of customers breaks down into the number of prospects or prospective customers times the rate that you convert prospects into customers. The customer value breaks down into price, the dollars that per average sale, and the number of times the customer comes in to your store to buy again and again. And then finally, we bring profit margin back into that. So profit equals number of prospects times the conversion rate times the price, repeat sales times the profit margin. So to quadruple your profits, which is what the original desire is that we're talking about here, you need to increase your marketing activities or generate more prospects. You need to increase your sales activities or increase the number of people you convert from prospects into customers. Increase your prices. Have your customers come in more often. Become more cost efficient or improve your profit margin. And if you improve each of those existing numbers by 10%, do it 4 times, guess what happens? You end up quadrupling your profits. And this is much easier to take than if you were to try to, say, multiply your number of customers by 4 or increase your profits by 4 directly. So that's where the concept of eating an elephant comes in. Instead of trying to eat that elephant all at once in a big giant step, we're breaking this down into very small component parts. Now, today what we're talking about is prospects and prospecting. And in particular, we're going to talk about generating we're prospecting in terms of referrals and creating a referral marketing system for your business. So I look at prospecting as the marketing end of your business, creating a marketing and creating a brand for your business. So first of all, who are your prospects? Who are the people that are most suited to buy your product? So if you look at what we call the sales funnel, in the entire world, there are 7 billion people. Potentially, every one of those people could be your customer. Of course, that's fairly unlikely unless you're Google or Facebook or somebody like that. So you need to start looking at the demographic group or groups that are most likely to buy your product. We call those your suspects. This is your potential customer base. Out of those suspects, you have people who are qualified prospects, people who have heard about you, people who at some point may want to buy from you but aren't sure yet. And the process of converting those prospects into customers is the sales process. So prospects turn into leads who really are getting close to buying, and then those leads purchase your product and they have become customers at that point. Now, prospecting is the process of turning suspects into prospects through marketing activities. So there's a whole bunch of people out there who have never heard of you, or may even have heard of you, but there just is no desire to find out any more about you. And what you want to do is get the word out and get your brand, your business, your product known to people. And when you make that known to people, those people now are suddenly prospects or prospective customers of yours. So as marketing is touching people as many times and in as many ways as you can. That's the principle of marketing, no matter what style of marketing it is. The more often you can touch someone, in other words, get your brand, your product, your name out in front of somebody in whatever format, doing it as many times, in as many ways, that is the way that you end up creating a sale overall. Marketing also includes this concept of TOMA, top of mind awareness. So when you teach somebody about yourself, when this prospective person learns about your business, they may or may not be ready to buy your product. Quite often they're not. And what you want to generate is knowledge or understanding of your product, that it pops into that customer's mind or potential customer's mind when they are ready to make that purchase. Prospecting and sales involve earning the right to sell your product by earning that customer's trust. Quite often we think of sales, and the prospecting and sales is lumped into marketing and sales is lumped into one thing. We think of this as in terms of the used car salesman, the high pressure tactics of being false about your product and generating this false desire just to get somebody to sign on the dotted line and hand over a check. And right after that, that person may have buyer's remorse and really reject the idea of being happy about that product. Really, a real true salesman is somebody who's going to ferret out a true desire for a product and match that customer with a product that's worthwhile to them and make the sale that way. So you earn the right to sell your product by earning the trust of the customer. Now, first of all, you need to have some kind of way of presenting your product. And we call this your unique selling proposition. And this is a pithy statement. Quite often it's used as an elevator talk or something like that. It's used to tell somebody what your product is in a very, very short way. For example, and why should I care about your product? It tells me why I should care. An example would be for an ad for Coke Zero, real Coca-Cola taste with 0 calories. When I hear that statement, I know that I'm going to get a product that tastes just like regular Coca-Cola that has all the sugar, but I'm not going to get fat drinking it. It should, because I enjoy Coca-Cola, it should be a very positive experience, and it's got the positive benefit there for me. How about M&M's candies? Melts in your mouth and not in your hand. No more gooey hands. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that M. Everybody knows the brand M&M's products and melts in your mouth and not in your hands. How about FedEx? Have you ever had to get something absolutely get there the next day when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight? I use FedEx. I use FedEx even when it doesn't have to be there overnight when I have a critical item I want delivered and that I will feel confident that it will be delivered in a reasonable amount of time, and it will get to that person. Then there's a company like Mercedes-Benz, top of the line, engineered like no other car in the world, absolutely best, top quality. If you see that mark, if you hear that name, you know that that is a quality product. And even though it's incredibly expensive, you know that you're going to enjoy the experience of that vehicle. On the other hand, there's the Indian motor company, Tata Motors, their Nano. It's the lowest priced car in the world. Now, that's the unique selling proposition of the Nano. And how do you think of that compared to what does that bring to mind compared to the Mercedes-Benz? Well, you might think that the Nano has probably not got the higher quality that the Mercedes does, because how can they generate the lowest price car in the world? And you need to be thinking about that when you start competing on price versus the quality of your product or service. When you look at selling to a group of people, you should be able to define a demographic or a subcomponent of the population that will desire your product. In my handyman business, my demographic was homeowners in the greater Victoria area who earned at least $50,000 a year and were between the ages of about 35 to 55 or 60, somewhere in that realm. Those are the people that I specifically marketed to. I had people outside that demographic who purchased my product, but when I sent out my marketing materials, that's who I would try to target. Now, a newer concept that's come forward is to create a persona, which when you think about or do your marketing plans or sales plans, you're looking at personifying that person, that demographic. And in this case, there's this person named Marie, a fictitious person. They put a picture to her, they've given her a gender, an age, an occupation, a family, what her characteristics are. And when you create your marketing plan, if you look at that person, it's a lot easier to create something that will appeal to that individual person than a faceless group of people between 35 to 55 years old, for example. This is one way that you can use to create your marketing program. Branding, marketing. There are two kinds of marketing in the world, push marketing and pull marketing. Outbound marketing, inbound marketing. Push marketing is the traditional way of doing things. We're going to push our name out to people. We're going to get everybody to know about us. Newspaper, magazines, flyers, radio, TV, billboards. This is mass marketing. It's expensive, and you're trying to get as many people to hear about you as possible, as many times as possible. But the thing about it is, it's characterized by interruption and repetition. What they want to do, what we want to do in this age where there's marketing, sales, advertising everywhere, is to find a way to insinuate our name and our brand into your awareness. Because quite often we are really not paying attention to all this marketing message that comes across in the world. So we want to interrupt you and startle you and say, oh, whoa. And we want to repeat this over and over again, so top-of-mind awareness, when it comes time to buy that product, out of all the choices that we have, you're going to pick that particular brand. So when somebody decides that they need to do some work on their house, that they will look at the flyer that's sitting there on their refrigerator and say, oh yeah, I heard about, they keep sending me these flyers. How about if I call Handyman Connection? I'm going to call these guys and see, I'll see if they can do the job for me. They say they have all these guarantees, and there's a coupon here, so let's try them out. An example.
And he'll dump your old mop. But don't worry, he'll find someone else.
Is the Swiffer commercials. If you see any daytime TV at all, you see these commercials. They are on continuously, sometimes one right after another. It's the same one playing over and over again. So Swiffer has spent not just millions of dollars, but tens of millions of dollars to gain TV time to show these types of ads. They're really annoying. When you see this personification of a bowling ball falling in love with a dirty mop that's been thrown away in favor of this Swiffer mop. Swiffer has created this new type of mop with a throwaway pad that means that you don't have to clean it anymore, but you have to keep buying replacement parts to it. So that's a good marketing thing. And what they do is, by doing this ad, it interrupts you. You can't avoid looking at it. It's so bizarre. And the jingle insinuates itself into your mind. So if I go to the grocery store, or you go to the grocery store, and it's time for you to buy a mop, guess what happens? You look at the mops, there's a $5 mop, a $10 mop, there's a Swiffer mop. You're going to at least think about that Swiffer mop, and you may think, maybe I should try this. And that's what they want to do. Now the thing is that traditional ads do cost money, and it's out of the hands, pretty much out of the wallet of the smaller entrepreneurial type person. So what else can we do to get our name out there? Pull marketing. This is where we want to get people to learn about us and to find out more about us rather than us pushing our name out to them. We draw the customer into the business. And it includes social media, it includes things like webinars, infographics, SEO, email, blogs, content marketing. And in this case, what we're talking about is word of mouth type of advertising, where people talk to each other and they say, hey, have you heard about? So referral marketing is part of word of mouth. And this is really the topic of what we're going through today. And we'll learn a little bit about referral marketing and how to create a referral-based business. Word of mouth referrals. I know someone who, we've all done this. We've all been in a situation where we're just chatting with some friends or at a party or having a coffee, and we may say something like, you know, I got to get something done here on my house. I got to get this countertop replaced, or I have to get some painting done. And I don't know who to call, because quite often we don't. It's not something we do often enough where we keep a stable of people there who we have a lot of confidence in. And invariably, the person you're with, or quite often the person you're with, will respond with, I know someone who can paint. He was just over at my place and did a really good job. Or my neighbor just had somebody have their countertop replaced. I can get you that phone number. That's a referral. And quite often in business, we rely on this just to be automatically generated. And we don't really push it very hard. We just sort of let it happen. So why not take advantage of people who like you and ask them for referrals? So in terms of your business, who is the person who cares most about your business? Of course, there's yourself. There are your employees, if you have employees. You may have a business network of people. But also there are your happy customers. Now you may have some unhappy customers, but they're really unlikely to refer your business to someone else, at least in a positive way. And if you do have unhappy customers, hopefully what you have done is to work as hard as you can to turn them from unhappy to happy customers. And it is a well-known fact that if you can solve a problem for a customer, you can turn that person into a lifelong advocate of your business. So we want to ask people to refer our business to their friends and family, ultimately. Who else do you know? Who else do you know who might want to learn more about my business, might want to work with me? Could be a friend, a family member, somebody you work with. Please, give me their names and a way to contact them, and I'll tell them that you sent me. But quite often what we think is, won't I annoy my customers? They just bought my product. If I keep bugging them, won't they get upset with me? Well, first of all, was your product worth selling to this person? Do you have a good product? Are your customers better off with your product? If they are, won't they be happy? They'll be pleased with your product? You need to think about that. There's the power of social proof, decision-making through expert testimony. And we rely on this all the time. Yeah, I know someone who, and we do this all the time, where we talk about things, we talk about a need, and somebody says, oh, I know somebody who can manage that. And who are the people that we're going to believe most? We get testimonials from experts such as, you look on the back of your toothpaste tube and you say, from the Canadian Dental Association, they recommend this, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this product. Okay, that's an expert. There are acquaintances. These are weak connections, people through your business network who you may or may not know as well. But especially there's friends and family. These are people that you trust. They may not technically know about these things, but because you trust them, you feel that you will be very ready to accept their recommendations. 92% of consumers trust recommendations from friends above all other forms of advertising. Think about that. So who says? What other evidence do we have? 86% of surveyed customers would refer their broker to their friends, their stockbroker, yet only 12% had ever been asked. That doesn't mean that only 12% had ever referred people, but it means that there's a big gap there between getting and the available people who will be more than happy to refer your company. So think about that. There's a big gap there. There's low-hanging fruit. A referral is up to 15 times more likely to do business with you than a cold prospect. So we go out there and we keep looking for new customers all the time. Getting new customers is not always easy, but a referral is a lot easier than getting a new customer. How much does it cost to generate a new customer? In my handyman business, it cost me $50 for a new customer, $50 to $100. I would send out 10,000 flyers. Of those 10,000 flyers, I would get 20 calls back, 0.2% response rate. Of those 20 calls, of those prospects or new prospects, half of those would be converted into customers. So my conversion rate was 50%. So if it cost me $500 to send out those 10,000 flyers, it cost me $50 to generate a new customer. What if I can get that new customer for a lot less money than that? Or a lot less time and energy and effort? What if I can have a system that generates itself? So what you want to do, or what this can also do, is enhance existing customer relationships. And this is what we tend to not realize, is when you ask somebody for a favor, it actually can create a stronger bond between you and that person. They may actually like you more. There's evidence to suggest that that is the truth. So rather than annoying people by asking them for referrals, you actually may strengthen that customer-supplier bond. You also have some group of your customers who love you. They love your product. They would do anything to have more of your product. They would do anything to tell people about your product. These are your evangelists, your best advocates, and you really, really want to encourage these people. If you ignore them, then eventually that ardor will die off. So why not encourage this type of behavior? So now we have a new sales funnel. And what we want to do is we have awareness. We want people to become aware. We want people to consider our product. Then they start having a preference towards buying the product, and they purchase it. Now they're a customer, but we're going to go beyond being a customer. Now there's loyalty and there's advocacy. And those loyal and loyal customers and those people who advocate for you, those are the ones that we really want to use for a referral system. We want to ask them to bring their friends and family in. We want to delight our customers, first of all. In order to generate this, you need to really delight your customers. You need to have a product or service that people love, and that if there's a problem, you've dealt with it immediately, and that there are no problems to begin with. So what we're going to do is, by doing this, now we're creating a network of people. It's not just a one-off, here's a customer, maybe we ask them for another order. Perhaps that's how we're communicating. But now we're generating this network where we're talking from one person becomes two people become four people become 8 people, and it grows and grows and grows. It doesn't just maintain stability. So how do we go about asking for referrals? First of all, who would we talk to? Strategic partners, employees, customers. First of all, let's look at strategic partners. These are the networking groups. These are your business contacts. Places like BNI, Business Networking International. I belong to a group called the Victoria Business Club, the Top 100 Victoria Referral Group. There's also places like the West Shore Women's Business Network in town, a home office support team, a group like Young Entrepreneurs Society. These are all networking groups. And ones like BNI, you're actually asked to not just talk amongst each other and try to generate work with each other as customers. You're actually asked to start bringing in your customers and trade them between each other. So you're referring your customers to other people in the group. And by doing that, you're taking that credibility that you have, you're transferring it over to one of your partners or them to you, and hopefully you're generating business by providing good quality products or services to other people in the group. And that's the ultimate of this kind of networking type system. You can also have cross-promotional arrangements. So a wine store may get a customer that comes in and says, you know, I've got this bottle of wine, I'm having a nice little tete-a-tete with my girlfriend, where, you know, I'd like to get some cheese. Now locally, there's a place called the Penny Farthing liquor store, and they might refer somebody 2 blocks down the street to Ottavio's, which has wonderful cheeses and all kinds of gourmet products. And they might do the same. They might refer back, or somebody comes in looking to buy some cheese and they ask about wine. So you set these up in advance. You have some natural types of products that one goes with the other. Talk to other business owners and see if you can make an arrangement. A painter may refer people to paint stores. Painters are notorious for liking one kind of paint. And the main reason for that is because they get an incredible discount at the paint store. So they become very loyal because when they buy the paint, they get a pretty good discount there. An insurance broker might refer to contractors. So there is a disaster in a home, the insurance company comes in, they will recommend people to repair the home. Okay, you're not required to take that, but most people actually do. So if I can get in my handyman business, or if I'm a contractor and I can get in with some insurance brokers, they'll refer me directly to these people and I'll generate business that way. And if I do a good job, then I generate goodwill towards the insurance company as well. Bloggers may refer people to consultants. So the other component to this that I like to do, that I've done in my business, such as my handyman business, is I will give referrals. I become the one-stop shop. In my handyman business, people would call up all the time for things that I couldn't do at the time. Maybe I didn't have a craftsman available, or maybe it was just way outside the kind of business, doing foundation work or some things like that. So I would always give a reference to that customer, potential customer. I would not send them away saying, oh, sorry, we don't do that. You'll need to call somebody else. I would never, ever do that. What I would do is, even if I did not have a reference, I would go into the phone book, or my assistant would go into the phone book. We would go to, or better, we would go to the Better Business Bureau website, and we would look up some names on the Better Business Bureau website and give the customer some A or A plus rated tradesmen. And even more, even better, we would also call that person up. We would call up that reference and say, hey, I got Mrs. Smith here. She's going to be giving you a call. Or how about you give Mrs. Smith a call? Here's her number. She's looking for somebody to do this kind of work. When you do that, now you get people really liking you because you have solved their problem. You haven't generated a problem. You have solved it for them. They will come back to you more and more and more. They will refer you because you have solved their problem. So you're developing a referral network for when you are not the one. And that means that people will call you back for when you are the one. Strategic partners, joint ventures, or affiliates. This is where these are specific pay arrangements. And this is where I might partner up with a realtor, I might partner up with an investment advisor for my consulting business. And everybody that they send to me, I will pay them $50. Everybody I send to them, they will pay me $50. At the end of the month, we'll total it up, and if there's a difference in numbers we sent, the money changes hands. This is a financial transaction compared to referral marketing, which is more in the realm of personal relationships and developing personal relationships. Both work. Affiliate marketing is more cut and dried, and in my experience, it doesn't work as well as referral marketing, but it is a way to get your name and to transfer your name from one person to another. Employees as referral sources. You can ask employees to refer their friends and family too, but also if they work in your store and customers come in, you want to be ready for that experience. You want to ask for an order. You want to ask for referrals. The customer buys a product and they're really happy with it, or they say something very positive. Are your employees ready to ask for your name to go out to their friends and family? So if you're going to do this, you need to train them, motivate them. You need to have processes in place. Policies and procedures, using employee enthusiasm to run your business and expand your business. We often overlook those employees. But customers are the ultimate referral source. But why would they? You need to think about the benefit to them. What would they benefit by referring you? You know what the benefit is to you. You're making more money, you're selling more product, but what is the benefit to them? And if you put things in that format, it's much easier for people to want to refer you. So first, you need to have an exemplary product, exemplary customer service, a one-stop shop. If people feel that you care about them, they will be more than happy to send people your way. Because ultimately, the referrer is going to be helping out their friends and family by doing this. This is a benefit to them because they're creating positive feedback from their friends, from their family, from people that they work with. And that's what they want. If it's a bad experience, it reflects poorly on them. If it's a good experience, it reflects well on them. So who else do you know? Who else do you know? Could be a friend, family member, neighbor, somebody else who could benefit from using my product. Okay, so how do we do this? First, let's generate a list of your advocates, a list of your happy customers, and basically anybody you think might know somebody else who would want to use your product. Could be your friends, family, neighbors. First is the advocates. You want to inform people. Tell people what you do. Don't assume, even your advocates, don't assume that people know. You should really sit down and talk to them about what your product is, what it does, what you think the benefit is to people for using the product. Tell people what you do and how you go about doing it. And also assure them of your integrity. Assure them that you will not sell their name to someone else, that you will not be putting it on a mailing list and making money off of that. You are going to assure them that you will follow up quickly, that you're not going to let it languish. Again, that would reflect poorly if they talk to this person and say, hey, I referred so-and-so's business, and it just sits there for a month. Well, guess what? That's not going to reflect well on anybody at that point. Assure them that you are going to take care, that you're going to cherish their friends and family. You want to follow up. Follow up to the referral and the referral source. Make that phone call. Talk to them. Send them emails. Send them letters. Send handwritten thank you notes. A handwritten thank you note is always in style. When I was a financial advisor, I would walk up and down the streets in my territory. I would knock on people's doors and ask them personal financial questions. That's how I generated my business and created my customer base. Every single person that I talked to, I sent them a handwritten thank you note afterwards. So when do you ask? When a customer says your product or service is great. When somebody says something nice to you, a customer. When a customer refers someone, ask for more. I know of people, especially in the financial industry, who will just sit there with the person in their office, and at the end of their talk, going over their portfolio, they'll ask people for references. Well, who else do you know? Okay, who else do you know? And who else do you know? And they'll keep going, and they'll keep asking until that person can think of nobody else. When a customer admits that you've really done something to help them out, when you've saved their bums, they will be thinking very highly of you at that point. Perhaps there's a strategic partner who tells you about an association they joined. Why would that be? Guess what? They just met a whole bunch of other people. They met a whole bunch of people that they can refer to you. When you complete a project, anytime. You can ask anytime. There are times when you don't want to ask. Maybe you did something wrong and you have a customer who's really upset with you. That's probably not such a good time to ask. Pretty much any other time, yeah. Tactics. Creating a referral rewards program. So first of all, make sure you've delighted your customer. In addition to creating a very excellent product or service delivered well, how about have customers' cars detailed while they wait in your office? Bake fresh cookies and hand them out to customers. Do something unexpected, something nice, something that nobody else would do. Now here is something I've come across. It's 25 ways to thank your customers. And the URL is there at the bottom of the slide. So if you want to locate that, it's slideshare.net, help scout 25 ways to thank your customers. And this is 25 different things that you can do. I would strongly urge you, even if it's not for referrals, but use that to find ways to appreciate people who have spent the time, spent the money, and bought your product or service. Then ask for the referral. Who else do you know? Could be a friend, family member, coworker who could use my services. Not, if you think you know somebody, let them know about me. You really want to be more direct. You want them to tell you, give that person up. Because if you're asking them to just pass your card along or pass your name along, it's much, much less probable to happen. As an elevator speech, quite often people ask us, in casual conversation, so how's business? And what do we say? Oh, things are going okay. How about yourself? What would be better to say? Business is good, but I'm always looking for more clients who need my services. Is there anybody else you know? Who else do you know? Think about using that instead of the standard, oh, things are fine. If nothing else, at least it generates more of a conversation. So there are ways of doing this. One is the Groupon. The Groupon is a social media referral process. And what it is you set out a coupon. You're going to have some deep discount. Remember, this is a marketing thing, not a selling thing. This is used to get your name out there for branding purposes and marketing purposes. You don't expect to actually make money on the deal, and you'll probably lose money. If you think about it this way, it's much easier to consider it a success because you want people to know, more people to know about your business. And what it is, you set this out, you have to sell a certain minimum number of coupons in order for the deal to go live. And what that encourages is people to talk to friends and family and neighbors and say, hey, I found out about this great new product here and it's 50% off. Let's all go and call them up so we can make sure we can get the deal. And that is a referral system. It's not a personalized, it's a very depersonalized referral system, but it's a way to work and create a referral buzz about your product. Custom website landing page. So you send out an email blast to people, to your customers. Well, have them come into a special page that you've created as part of your website, and they can click on a link on the email, and it takes them to a referral landing page. And so now you have it all set up. Earn an extra $100 and you refer a friend. And this is the way to get the word out and to automate it and to reach more people and to talk to more people. The reverse testimonial. Ask somebody for a testimonial, or a customer gives you a testimonial. Print it out on a business card or a postcard and give them back to the customer, to the person who came out with the testimonial, to hand out or mail out for you. Stamp the postcards. Don't make them put the stamps on it, or they'll go in the trash. How about this? They liked your product that much. Well, ask them to do some marketing for you. And all they have to do is put an address on it or hand it out to somebody for you. Make a donation in your customer's name. There's a group called Constant Contact that has really set this up well. They have an on-site sign-up for Care for Kids. And when the customer makes a referral, a donation is made to a good cause. You scratch our back and we'll scratch theirs. How about that? In the handyman business, we used door hangers. You're working at a customer's home. You've got your truck. It's got the name of your business on it. And what happens is the neighbors will come over and say, well, I see you're working on Joe's house here. How's it going? What kind of work you doing? And, oh, you know what? I need that done too. Could you come by my house? So you have a small, that's how a lot of handymen actually get their business going, is when they're working in a neighborhood, the neighbors come over. Or after hours, the neighbor comes over and talks to Joe and says, well, Joe, how's it going there? And Joe says, you know, he's doing a really good job. And the neighbor says, how about you give me his number, because I got some work I need to be done. So this is how an automatic referral goes. If you want to make the referral work, get some door hangers and go around nearby, hang them on the doorknobs, knock on people's doors, and ask for referrals. Don't ask for business. Ask for referrals. If the customer is interested in the business, asking for the referral means that they may nominate themselves. But they may not need anything done right now. Ask them to talk to their friends and family about about what they might need to be doing. There's dual type referrals. So you're giving a gift or cash to both the referral and the referred. In this case, refer a friend, they get 20% off their purchase, and you get a store credit for 5% of what they purchased. So this is incentive for both. So that means that the referral source is likely to keep referring more and more people. Make a referral part of your fee. Ask for 5 referrals as the cost of doing business with you. I keep my prices down by generating more business through referrals. I have a referral-based business. If you ask me for, or if you send me 5 people, friends, family, or neighbors who you think might be might want to do business with me, it makes it a lot easier for me to do the work that I can for you. It allows me to stay in business. It allows me to keep my costs down for you. So I hope that you're confident in the work that I'm doing for you, and I appreciate your service, your custom. Thanking your customer. Give out a referral card whenever your customer makes a compliment, something we talked about before. So ask people. They're already happy with you. And you know what? They should be very happy. You're not putting a burden on them. You're asking them to just get the word out for something that they really want to do anyway. There are referral coupons. Get $50, refer 2 friends, referring 1, 2, or 3 people. Here's one where there's a referral reward program, and it's multiple here. So here, when you refer someone to the practice, you get a $25 Visa gift card. It's a dual offer. And the patient will receive a $25 gift card upon completion of the consultation appointment. So it costs me $50 to get this person in, and they may or may not do business with me. Now, if that person starts the treatment, whatever this treatment is probably worth some hundreds or thousands of dollars. So you receive a $50 gift card for bringing this person in. So this costs $100 per customer, but it's a real incentive to bring in good quality customers. You'll get a lot more if you bring in somebody who actually does business with me than just somebody off the street. There can be a draw. Instead of giving a $25 reward or $10 reward, how about a flat screen TV to somebody in a draw? Now that ups the ante, and that makes people, well, perk up their ears a little bit more. They're not assured of getting it, but they have a chance of getting something pretty nice. How about Airmiles Points? As a vendor, as a business owner, you can purchase Airmiles Points to give out to customers as a reward. Well, how about giving them out as a reward for referrals? Now, the $100 Air Miles is worth about $12.50, so that's not a huge discount here, not a huge reward in this case. Using social media, that's a way to spread the word, share engaging content. On your website, you can install sharing buttons. Quite often you can put buttons on your website that link you to the various social media, and a lot of times it's a like type thing, so you do a plus for a G plus thing. Well, instead of that, there are referral buttons, so you're actually sharing the website, and think about using that instead of the like. You can also create contests or polls. These are sort of things that engage people and allow you to reach a much larger number of people. So how to set it up? Step by step. To start, set up your business goals. What is your unique selling proposition? Describe your personas, or at least identify your demographic market. Identify key employees, key advocates, and key business contacts. Prepare referral scripts. When you talk to these people, you want to be prepared. Prepare your refer rewards program, and prepare your referral rewards program. So rewarding the referrer, rewarding the person who is actually referred. You want to set up strategic partnerships if that works for you, joint ventures, go to networking events. These are sort of the external or weak sort of associations. And ask for referrals. Friends, family, and neighbors, customers. Go through the sales process with them. When this person comes in, they are now a prospect, a prospective customer. You want to qualify them. You want to turn them into a purchasing customer. Close the deal. Ask for the order. And then you want to follow up. Write thank you notes. Have a customer appreciation event for referrals, referral sources. And review and revise your program every so often, at least on a yearly basis. Is this working? Am I getting the customers in? Is the referral program working? So in conclusion, the referral process is the key to an ongoing, in my opinion, viable business operation. There are many businesses that are entirely based on referrals. There is no other marketing done. It is a completely referral marketing based process. If you found this talk of value, write down the names and contact information of 3 people you feel would benefit from talking to me. And I thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm Larry Earnhardt, your Alchemist Professor.